I'm going to do a little experiment with different types of containers to hold ionized water. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to test ionized water from the Athena at approximately the drinking level that I use, and we're going to see what the pH and ORP is of the level 3 is what it's called with the Athena drinking water. And then I'm going to, while I'm doing that, I'm also going to be filling up these jars and bottles to experiment with. In about maybe 2 hours, I'll test the one set, of one of each, and see if any of the containers does a better job than any other in holding on to the pH and ORP of the water. And I'm going to predict that in the given time period that they will all probably retain the pH similarly to each other, but may lose the ORP based on just circumstances of the construction or design of the container. For instance, this container has a rubber seal on it, and it might actually hold the pH and ORP longer than any of the others. This one right here has a lid that has the pull type cap. There's no rubber seal. I mean, it's an okay seal, but there is a tiny little gap in the lid, maybe about a ½ inch in diameter by maybe about a ½ inch depth. And that will probably allow some of the negatively charged electrons, which are another way of saying the antioxidants, to escape from the ionized water. And in doing that, I'm going to predict that the ORP of these bottles, which are the cheapest, I wish they'd work the best, but they're only like $1 at Walmart. But I'm going to predict that the ORP will be lost with those some. And then this final bottle has a lid on it that when you seal the lid, then the lid comes down over it and might prevent evaporation of the ORP. I'm not sure. But also you can continue filling this. You don't have to have this gap here. You can pour some water, and I'll do that, all the way to the very lid, and then close it. And that's what I'm telling people lately in the last couple of months, since I've been doing more experimentation, is when you fill that jar container right to the very brim, you will hold on to your pH and ORP a lot longer, even for a couple of weeks versus just a day or two, or even versus just a couple hours. So we'll test one set here after a couple hours, and the other set maybe after a day. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and get started. And this is the level I drink at, level 3. And I'm just going to pour some to test in a cup just to get started. And we'll go ahead and put the probes in there and allow them to be kind of settling down to a final reading while I'm pouring the rest of these things. Alright, I'm going to just fill each one, and this is kind of boring, but I suppose you could just ignore, fast forward through this, or do something to ignore it if you don't like waiting, because it just takes a while to fill these jars. And I will also fill another cup too, just to fill these a little bit more to the brim than they are right now. I'm getting my reading on the water that's in the cup, and I'm getting like an 8.2 pH with a negative 767 ORP. Oops. which is really good. I usually get a higher pH than that though, but that's fine. 8.2. I believe maybe my pH meter needs to be calibrated or something. That's what I will guess, but I'm not going to. I've already restarted this twice, and I just don't want to have to keep on doing this. But it's close to that. All right. Or I may actually recalibrate my pH meter. Or actually, the pH meter takes a while to settle down, and I don't know why it takes so long, but I have it stored in very low acidic water, and it has to make its way all the way up to the high alkaline reading, and so it's I'm just have it still in there. Oh, yikes. And we'll take a look at it when everything's poured, see if it's gotten higher alkalinity. Okay, we're getting close. Okay, and then I'm just going to pour some more water in here to use as topping off these jars. Okay, so alright, that should do it. Okay, so now let me move these meters away from the water because it's going to overflow a little bit. Alright, I'm topping off the jars as much as can be topped off without spilling. Oops. Okay, spilled a little. And okay. Alright, and now we'll put lids on. I knew that was going to happen. A little bit of splash over, but not too bad. You know, my least favorite jar to carry around with me would of course be the glass ones, because they're gonna break in my purse. But you know, these BPA free plastic bottles I prefer myself because they're not going to break. I hope they do good. Alright, so now everything, oh wait a minute, you know what, with these I'm just going to top this off just now that I put the screwed the lid in. They can still be topped off some more. Yeah, that's nice the way those can be topped off. These, because it's just, it doesn't really, I can't top these off. I'll try, but you're just going to lose a little tiny bit of space in there with those. Okay, so now let's take one final look at what this pH and ORP is. Oh, well, I guess my pH meter is working. The big thing was it just takes a while to get up to the actual pH when you start out so low acid. Alright, so that is a 9.7 pH, and that's correct, and a negative 774 ORP. So that's what we're starting out with, and let's see what we lose after an hour and then, or a couple hours, and then after a day. Oh, you know what? I forgot, and I'm glad I didn't turn this off. I'm going to put a timestamp on this, and the time is, first of all, the date is February 19th, and the time is, lost the time, 3:14. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, there we go.